I am bound by commitment because I enjoy making reviews and I enjoy checking out bands, especially if I've gotten some heat for some of my reviews, but we're still here and we're still making reviews. So, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diaz coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for checking me out and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Today, I am checking out the latest release from a band called Final Resting Place with their latest album called, well, not album, but EP, Bound by Affliction. Final Resting Place is a band I have covered before on my channel. I'll leave a link down below and after this video, but they are a slam band based out of the Northeast region of America and have been around since 2023. If you didn't know, just a little backstory on them. From what I'm learning more about this band, especially after my recent review on my Instagram went up, and I've been getting a lot of comments about that one. I wasn't too fond of the previous EP, Prelude to Extinction, with overall its production value and everything. And what I've learned a little bit more about this band, doing some more digging and researching about the band clearly, I guess when I first listened to it, I didn't really fully realize it, but now that I found the proper information, they are purposely kind of being a 90s slam, New York, that area, Northeast America, slam, brutal death metal band on purpose. And by that, mostly the production is a purposely like aesthetic that they're going for, which, you know, when listening to this as me, just as a review and everything, didn't know that was being taken into account. So my review could be redone a little bit possibly, but still it stands as is. But they are a heavy death metal band that is purposely trying to sound like the old 90s band that they are influenced by. They even take what was it, their logo is based off of a band called In Torment, if I'm saying it correctly. They're paying homage to that band by having a similar aesthetic in terms of their logo, the album covers, the EP covers, and everything. So it seems like these guys are doing what they do here out of not just like as a side project because they're all in multiple bands, but a genuine love for the slam genre they grew up with and everything. So I'm taking that a little bit more into account with my review, but also just like overall, I'm still kind of sticking to what I thought of the EP as I listened to it, because I found this information out after reviewing this latest EP from them. So here are my thoughts. With their last release being Prelude to Extinction, Final Resting Place showed flashes of what could be. Dense riffing, relentless drums, and a looming atmosphere that leaned really hard into the extreme. But just like with that EP, this newest EP, Bound by Affliction, is another case of a band whose musical vision and talents are battling against their own production choices, which, you know, are deliberate and everything, but they do affect the overall listening experience. The results are you get a very heavy, oppressive experience with this EP, but one that is constantly feeling like it's crawling through like the mud and murk just to be heard. And the opening song, Psychosis, is the strongest indicator of what the band is kind of reaching for. It's a warped and distorted haze that feels like intentionally unsettling, and it feels like you're dropped into this fractured headspace like the title implies. It sets the mood just effectively and perfectly by having a very dark, brooding, and hypnotic feel to it. And so it makes you want to hear the band kind of stretch out further into this atmosphere. And what really is good about this particular song is you can hear everything very nicely and clear. You can hear all the little static cracks in the background and just the overall sense of dread. And so as I was listening to it, I was like, all right, the production's maybe going to be a little bit better this time around. So I want to play a small clip of Psychosis for you so you get a sense of just like this atmosphere this band can truly make. You can really feel, not just from the sounds, but just the overall like weight they're putting here. It just sounds really good. But as soon as the riffs and the full instrumentation from the band comes in elsewhere on this EP, the clarity begins to just fade away. Throughout Bound by Affliction, there's a sense of power hiding beneath the mix. So then on the song Descent to Dementia, the snare cuts through like a whip while, the riffs kind of lumber beneath a very thick fog of muffled tones. And the bass is kind of rumbling in the undercut of the song, so it feels like, you can feel it more than you can hear it. And the vocals, I gotta say, brutal delivery, often dissolving into some low-end chaos. It's an aesthetic that could be, I guess, described as very intentional, and learning more about this band, a lot of what they're doing is intentional. A kind of suffocating wall of sound effect, but it risks, muting the individuality of the band's stronger traits. And moments like on the song Forbidden Knowledge really highlight the problem most clearly. The drums here are sharp, dynamic, and quite genuinely engaging. They give you something to latch onto and really focus on here, because the guitars and the vocals are really buried so deeply in the mix that it feels like they're being played from another room. Even the breakdowns, when they should explode with raw intensity, feel very softened, as if they're playing in a very padded room with a lot of insulation, so it's hard to really hear everything. So I want to play a clip of Forbidden Knowledge so you get a sense of just like how the snares come through, the drums are good, but everything else is so muffled. I do like what I'm hearing, but it's really hard to hear and I have to really focus. And I feel like it shouldn't. They should be turning up just a little bit. Like on the song Burning Revelation, it offers a very brief glimpse of what tighter production could have done and like what could have been delivered with this EP. Because here you have some crunchier riffs and more satisfying snare fills, and this one just overall feels more listenable, even though the vocals still feel like they're trapped in the background. But the riffs and the bass and the drums feel a little bit more fleshed out a bit. So here's a clip of Burning Revelation. Not too bad. Likewise, the title track Bound By Affliction kind of leans into raw demo-like atmosphere that recalls, underground 80s and 90s tape recordings, I feel. And just like I said, now that I know that, this is all purposeful, it all makes a lot more sense. That lo-fi kind of like DIY style of recording and stuff might resonate with a few people and everything, but mostly I feel like it underscores what this band could, really like do. Like I feel really old or dumb saying this, but it feels like it squanders their potential. Yeah, they're doing an old school homage to old playing, but if you could tweak it just a little bit more, it could be pretty dope. What Prelude to Extinction had going for it and what Bound By Affliction kind of retains is a clear commitment to heaviness. The riffs are dense, the bass slaps really hard, and the drums remain probably the most consistent thing and the most consistent strength of this band. But where the previous EP hinted at a band that could just, need a little bit refinement, Bound By Affliction kind of doubles down on a production style that really undermines the force of this band that they can, the force of their playing. Final Resting Place are clearly capable of brutality, atmosphere, and weight. And when those elements kind of peek through, it's very obvious that the band is pushing towards something very unique. But like staring through the haze of Psychosis, the real vision is here. It's just blurred and waiting for the day when the band's sound isn't muffled by its own presentation. So it feels like, this band, they're purposely doing what they want to do here. Mad respect to that, but it feels like, they are kind of tripping themselves over where they could be a lot better. And if you've made it this far in my review, I'm pretty sure if you see my Instagram review, a lot of people not too pleased with it. I will say, I've seen the band play live before. They're really good live and everything, but just right now on record and stuff, it's not as enjoyable as it could be. And I feel like compared to Prelude to Extinction, Bound By Affliction is a little bit of a step above, but not so much. So overall, I would say this latest EP from Final Resting Place, I would give it a good and okay 5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think. This is gonna be a tough one, but like always, see you in the pit.